in the Bell MTS Place, watching the Dallas Stars take on my Winnipeg Jets. And you're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. And as you can tell behind us, Joe Sakic has got all the king's ransom. He's finally made the trade happen, and we can finally talk about it. We're a little late. I know that it happened yesterday, but this is the first chance we've had to sit down and actually discuss it. I actually don't know how you feel. We haven't had this conversation yet. But we're going to go through the trade and everything. 1 second. Breaking news. Wow, Joe Sakic has decided to create his own secondary NHL team with all of the players that he's accumulated in this trade. So, if you haven't known already, he got 7 pieces. It's unbelievable. So we're going to go through the trade and tell you what each team got. And so let's start with Ottawa because that's the biggest thing. They got Matt Duchene, and they sent away Kyle Turris. These were the 2 big pieces in this trade. So that's just straight up front. You obviously already know by now, but Matt Duchene coming to Ottawa is going to be huge for the Ottawa Senators. I'm going to love to see Duchene in Ottawa. I think he's going to do incredible things. However, I think he was overpaid. So they sent Kyle Turris out. They sent away Shane Bowers. They sent away Andrew Hammond. They sent away a first-round 2018 pick. They sent out a third-round 2019 pick. So they gave up, and plus Kyle Turris, they gave up a lot of pieces for one player.
There's a slight caveat to that. Elliot Friedman reported that the first-round pick, if Ottawa finishes in the top 10, in other words, gets a terrible pick because they're picking in the bottom 10 of the draft, then there's the option to get an automatic first-rounder in 2019. So I think that option is probably exercised by Colorado, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so
that's quite the condition.
It is quite the condition, yeah. But does anyone think Toronto or Ottawa's going to finish in the top 10 this year, even with Duchene?
I don't know. I wouldn't have said that yet last year, and they did, right? So
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? The Ottawa Senators acquire Matt Duchene. The Nashville Predators acquire Kyle Turris. The Colorado Avalanche acquire
an
entire team. Samuel Girard, Vladislav Kamenev, Shane Bowers, Andrew Hammond, a second-round pick from 2018 from Nashville, a first-round pick from Ottawa 2018, third-round pick 2019 from Ottawa. So 7 pieces, and they had to give away Matt Duchene.
Yeah.
I think that is, I can't believe it happened. I can't believe Sakic actually got what he wanted. I don't know if it's exactly what he wanted, but it's pretty damn close. That's a ton of pieces. I mean, even if one of those 7 pieces turn into anything even close to Matt Duchene, it's probably worth it just due to all the other secondary and tertiary and all the other areas that come with it. It's quite amazing. That Vladislav Kamenev guy, I think he's 19, I think he's a defenseman. He's doing really well, so he could turn into something great. We saw what Andrew Hammond could do a couple years ago in that run with Ottawa. If they can get him back into the mentality of that stud goalie, man, who knows what could happen. And he might get an opportunity to play a little bit more in Colorado than he is right now in Ottawa because of Anderson and Condon. So I think this is probably a good thing for Andrew Hammond.
I think it is.
But
he's probably still toiling in the AHL, at least for a while.
Right, yes.
But he will get more opportunities probably to play.
And all those picks, we can't comment on those right now because we don't know who they're going to be in 4 years from now. We'll have to have this conversation again and see who actually won this trade. I think Matt Duchene, like I said at the beginning, for Ottawa is a really wonderful fit. I think he fits in perfectly with that lineup. I can't wait to see who he plays with. I think he's going to have instant chemistry with that team. But I do believe that Ottawa completely overpaid for Matt Duchene. I don't believe he was worth that, in my opinion. Although I love Duchene in Ottawa, what Ottawa gave up, I think, is just a little bit too steep, in my opinion. But that just goes to show you, Ottawa's in it to win it this year. They're going to give up all that to get Matt Duchene. Man, you know that they're serious. They want to get back to that Eastern Conference final, and they want to get past it and go to the Stanley Cup final. So this is really a statement, if anything.
Wow, I'm not quite as passionate about Ottawa's intentions as you are.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I honestly don't follow Ottawa very much. But you look at the two players on paper, both would be underperforming this year based on the chemistry problem. Duchene probably not doing as well as he could do, and Turris the same way. Turris was very well loved in Ottawa.
Yeah.
They pay a price for getting rid of Turris and moving him. Now, it had to happen because it just wasn't going to work out.
They couldn't sign him for what he wanted or
Yeah.
the amount that he wanted, and so Kyle Turris.
But he's a...
I don't know if he asked for a trade, but I think he knew it was coming.
Yeah, it's...
They were going to lose him anyway.
Yeah,
so.
it was an inevitability.
Yeah.
So they're both centermen. One shoots left, one shoots right. They're only 2 years apart in age, and they're putting up roughly the same numbers. So I don't think it's a huge advancement, although Ottawa's getting a player who's now going to probably want to play for them and play hard for them.
Yep.
And to prove to Colorado that he was worth more than maybe they thought he was.
Exactly.
But Ottawa's getting rid of roughly equivalent production, at least so far in the season, that's going to Nashville. I think Nashville is maybe a big winner here. They're giving up a second-round draft pick, and they're getting a pretty good center.
Well, they're giving away Samuel Girard and Vladislav Kamenev as well, plus a second-round pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still a good deal for Nashville. I still think Nashville wins because they got Turris. They just signed him to a new contract or extension or whatever, 6 years, $36 million or whatever. I think that averages out to $6 million a year.
$6 million, and he was making $4 in the
I
last
think
2 years. So that's enough.
I think they overpaid a little bit contract-wise for Kyle Turris. I think $6 million is too much for him. I would have liked to see around 5.
Yep.
5 would have been an amazing number, I think, but 6 is just a little bit much, and that's just being really nitpicky, obviously. But.
And the word on the street was that Colorado, in trying to shop Duchene, wanted an elite player, a really good prospect, and picks. I don't think they got that. But they probably got, like you say, we won't know for a few years whether one of those turns into an elite player and therefore makes the trade a good one for Colorado. I think Colorado did very well in this trade. I think Nashville did very well. I think Ottawa at least broke even. I don't know if they're that far ahead.
I think Ottawa's I can't say. I mean, if Ottawa wins the Stanley Cup this year, obviously this trade doesn't matter, and they win automatically, 100%.
I think the two biggest winners in this trade are Matt Duchene and Kyle Turris.
Oh, yeah.
They both move from situations they weren't comfortable in to situations that they're probably going to thrive in.
Yeah.
Kyle Turris gets the bonus of an instant new contract and signing a couple more $1 million a year, so they do well. The city of Ottawa, the local community, the team that Kyle Turris worked very closely with, these Capital City Condors, which was a team essentially made up of kids who can't play hockey, kids that are 6+ years old, who can't play hockey because of various physical or perhaps even non-physical challenges in their lives. He was a key element there, he and his wife both, and they were very, very involved. I read a neat story today about Turris. Last year during the playoffs, when there's so much pressure on them, Kyle and his wife Julie found out about a family where the mother had just gotten a very bad diagnosis. And Kyle and Julie came for the day, picked up the kids, and took them for the day.
Oh, wow.
And just took them around town, took them to their place, and the kids played. The kids were just young, and got their minds totally off all the bad news, and brought them back at 8 o'clock that night. No one asked them to do that, and it probably was never meant to be in the news, but it is out now. That's the kind of guy that he was, and she was, Julie as well. So, I think that's a big bonus for Nashville, and maybe, kind of like Subban kept his relationship with Montreal, maybe Turris will keep a little bit of that relationship with the Ottawa Condors. Maybe Duchene will grow some philanthropic footprint for himself in Ottawa as well. It's a good thing because there was this tension in the league. There was tension in Ottawa and tension in Denver, and that tension is now relaxed. So I just hope it all works out for everybody.
I do as well. And the only bad thing for Turris right here, and he gets exactly what he wanted. He gets the contract he wanted. He gets the term he wanted. The only bad thing is it happened 2 weeks too soon because now he can't go to Europe and play the game. He now has to go to Nashville. Good thing for Duchene, he gets traded to the other team that they're going to play in Sweden.
Yeah, that's
right. So
right.
he still gets to go.
Yeah, he'll go and he'll be playing against Landeskog instead of beside him.
Yeah.
But he'll get to go in that's great.
It's strange though, right?
It is.
Oh man, that'd be weird. But
yeah.
Both of those teams will be hanging out collectively while they're in Sweden. So I mean, that's going to be cool. So.
Yeah.
If I were to pick a winner from this entire thing, I think Colorado wins because Duchene wanted to be out anyway. It's not like Duchene wanted to stay and they traded him. He wanted to go. He wanted to go out. They were going to have to get rid of him anyway. I think Colorado wins, and I guess we won't find out for a while. But in my personal opinion, right now, Colorado wins. I think Nashville probably is in the middle ground. They lost some, and then they gained some. And I think the Ottawa Senators overall lost this trade based on how much they gave up. And obviously, that completely changes if Ottawa wins the Stanley Cup in the next 3 years. But,
Sure. And social media so far, since the trade was announced and firmed up, social media is running pretty overwhelmingly in the opinion that Ottawa came out on the short end of this
So
trade.
same opinion that I have?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
and me too. I think Ottawa, it's not a horrible trade. It's not awful. It may work out.
Okay.
We don't know what the chemistry goes on in the dressing room.
Right.
And this may be a lot of intangibles that we and the fans and even broadcasters don't necessarily see. This may be enough of a chemistry change in the dressing room that it's worth more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with every trade.
Yeah.
When Duran got traded for Sergachev, all we could do was speculate. Now we're just now finding out, can actually have the conversation who's starting to win this trade, and we still don't know.
We still don't know.
It's still so early.
They're both beginning to really perform well.
Yeah.
And it looks like right now both teams won that trade.
Yeah, so who knows? It's going to take so much time to tell who wins this trade.
Yeah.
But it's fun to talk about anyway, right?
yeah.
Speaking about fun to talk about and to speculate, I have a very big video idea coming up, and I mentioned this to you a couple minutes ago.
Just
off camera.
moments ago. I'm still trembling.
It's still trembling. It's a very bold concept. It's a very big idea, but someone brought it up to me, and I thought, man, that's a great idea, and that could be a very popular video, and it's a very fun conversation to have. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail, but basically the question is, what could the NHL look like in 2030? Because we see the NHL trying to move over to China and thrive there and get fans and stuff. In Europe, they're just about to go to Europe, and this week coming, I believe, the first game's this coming Friday.
Yeah, Ottawa flies out tonight. I think Colorado, I think they played in the New York area tonight, and then they fly out. They play Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
They finally get over there.
They're trying to get interest. NHL's trying to get interest over in Europe. The NHL is looking for expansion. I mean, they've been vocal about that, and there's teams within North America that they could expand to. So that's 13 years away. I've spent hours and hours researching, and I've put together an entire formulation of teams and how they'll sit in divisions and new teams and teams that have moved, and it's a really bold concept. I don't think that this is how the NHL is going to be in 2030. Is how it could look. It's just for fun, just a fantasy, I guess. But I think it's going to be a pretty fun video. So look out for that in the future,
Very
probably in the
interesting.
next 2 weeks. I'm really excited to make it, and I haven't shared anything with you as far as structure and stuff.
No,
But,
no.
yeah, it's going to be a fun video to make. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you're new to this channel, hope you can hit the subscribe button and join us for all kinds of hockey talk on a daily basis. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Adios.
Good. Oh, I'm good.